Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine. I hope you had a great international break, and I hope that before the international break, you had a decent game week 29. Whether you were on a free hit or not, I just hope you had a nice one. I actually, I was I think one of the very few managers who actually didn't free hit in 29 because the most of managers, I think they went for their free hit, and I didn't. In game week 29, I think that paid off in the end, because most of the people on free hit actually, you know, I mean, it didn't start well at all because of Regulon, of course, getting the red card right at the start. But even beyond that, I mean, the big hitters didn't do much at all. So I was just so happy to bring in Muniz because he was the one actually who made the difference for my team, scoring 13 points and wiping off my two transfers which I made. Didn't work out, obviously, but Muniz was one of them. So just happy that in the end it worked out. It was Madison and Muniz that I brought in, but Madison didn't do anything much at all. Son captaincy didn't work, but in the end 28 points, guys, now into the top 400k. So been a string of green arrows. Long may that continue. But not talking too much about my own team, I'm just gonna move on and go to my this week's team so you can have a look. So I mean, guys, if you look at my team, I'm not on a wildcard, and I haven't activated my wildcard, and I don't even plan to play my wildcard this week. So the plan this week is to just kind of ride out this game week in which Arsenal actually play against City, and beyond that, I'm thinking whether to wildcard in game week 31 or to just simply move my wildcard to game week 35. In which case I'll be ready for the last 4 game weeks in a much better way, because I've got a free hit and I can free hit in 34. So I'm not hard pressed to push my wildcard button. Obviously, there's a glaring omission from this team that I don't have Haaland here. But beyond that, I think this team is fine. Next week, either I will have to wildcard, or I'll have to find a way to bring in Erling Haaland, because going without him, it's just going to be absolutely tough from game week 31. I've already made one transfer this week, by the way, guys. I've taken out Barkley and I've brought in Mo Salah. So that was my transfer this week, and I'm hoping I can just ride this game week 30 through without having too much damage from the City assets in Haaland, Foden, KDB, and so on and so forth. So let's see about game week 31 as to whether I wildcard or not, or whether I just want to ride it out a little bit more. And the closer I get to game week 35, the better information I will have, the better will be my game week 35 wildcard, if I'm allowed to ride out my team until then. If not, then it's gonna be all right, because I can wildcard in game week 31. I just did not feel the need to wildcard immediately in game week 30 just because of the pressure that everybody seems to be wildcarding, right? I have to play my game my own way. I mean, I didn't free hit in 29 because I didn't feel that my team needed a free hit. So you just have to ride it out sometimes, guys, and I'm hoping for the best. So as you can look at my team, I have I have Pedro Porro, Madison, and Son playing against Luton, along with Palmer having a good fixture against Burnley. Muniz, obviously, I got him for 2 weeks. That is, I got him against in game week 29. And then I especially wanted to keep him for game week 30 for the fixture against Sheffield United. You know, so and Salah obviously I have against Brighton. So overall team looks fine except for the fact that obviously Gabriel and Saka, they're playing against City. I can play Tony in place of Saka, but I've not decided what to do yet. So hey CAV, I hope you're fine, bro, and I hope you're having a good game week. So CAV says, hey, where's wildcard 31 for me to simple McCarthy to Salah for me? I think that's the right move to make, my friend. It's the similar one like Barkley to Salah, so that's fine. I think wildcard 31 is on the agenda for me as well. I'm just kind of want to give it some more time because I want to kind of get the feel of FPL back. I want to see how the fixtures are panning out, how the teams are panning out. Some teams, they tend to lose form after the break. Some teams, they tend to get form after the break. So let's see how it goes, because you remember when Arsenal went to Dubai for the winter break, they came back rejuvenated and they just turned the season. They beat Liverpool. They played really well after that. So they were beginning to lose a bit of steam, but so I need to see before I can just chuck in players for the last 8-9 weeks as to how they play. CAV says, I have the same goalkeeper dilemma as you. Thoughts on who to start? Not sure if there's much in it. I always just prefer the home team, CAV, because although Dubravka has been atrocious, to be honest with him, ever since I've bought him, it's just been horrible. But just gonna give him one more chance before I actually take him out on a wild card. G-Red, I hope you're doing well, my friend. He says, hi, was about Robinson place holding on my wild card. Would you swap to Bradley or 8 Nouri or other fun pick in a heartbeat? Fulham's got some good, decent fixtures coming up in these recent weeks. But beyond that, obviously the fixtures turn. So if you see, they play against Nottingham Forest, Newcastle. These fixtures are fine if you want to hold him until game week 34. But beyond that, it's not. So 8 Nouri would be a good shout, definitely a good shout. I would pick 8 Nouri, especially if you don't have a free hit for 34. Then I guess 8 Nouri is a better option than Robinson, bro. Testimony says, hi, was bench one of Foden, Saka and Richarlison. I'd say Saka, Testimony, because Foden's at home. I feel that he's got more potential against Arsenal than Saka against City. It's very hard to call this game. That's why this decision is so difficult to make. But if I was you, I'd possibly play Foden and bench Saka. Richarlison automatically might not play, although comments by Ange Postecoglou suggest that he's back and he should be alright. But I feel that he might be back on the bench and he would not start, in which case you might get Saka off the bench. So, but technically I would put Foden and Richarlison in the team. Mylord says, good morning, Wiz. Good morning, my friend. He says, 2 questions, Captain Sonny or Mo? Start Saka or Garnacho? We love you, Wiz. Thanks, my friend. Actually, the first question is very difficult to answer categorically, my friend, because there's not much to choose between Son and Salah. The only thing to choose between them is, let us say, the opposition teams. Luton are practically without their first choice defense. Brighton, on the other hand, have been improving in their defense for the past few weeks. So based on that, I'd say owning Salah is a good thing, but I would prefer Son for captaincy a little bit over Salah. Also, if Son plays as a striker, I'd love that against Luton, because they tend to play a high line sometimes. They tend to press, and Son can have a lot of chances. Against Brighton, Salah is, I think, the second best captaincy option. Even I can say he's the third best captaincy option after Palmer. Because Burnley's threat will be blunted a lot by Fofana missing out due to his home parent club being Chelsea. So he won't play against Chelsea. Which kind of blunts out their attack a little bit. And, I think Chelsea is going to come at Burnley. And Palmer can be a decent captaincy shout as well. So I'd choose Son over Salah, bro. Shopnan says, are you on a wild card? No, Shopnan, I'm not on a wild card. This is my game week 29 team. With the exception that I've taken out Ross Barkley for Mo Salah, bro. Sir Crocodile says, can't have both Isaac and Darwin in wildcard due to 0.1. Sir Crocodile, I mean, Isaac and Darwin on a wildcard is desirable. I think you can take out 0.1 from your defense. Maybe downgrade a Pedro Porro to Destiny Udogie, or pick somebody like Van Hecke from Brighton, H. Nouri. You can take out some money from the defense, because this season defense has been absolutely horrible. I mean, if I tell you to guess who's the highest scoring defender, I'm not sure if many of you will be able to guess who's the highest scoring defender this season in FPL. I mean, last seasons, there's always a great defender around the corner. There's all this Trent, there's Trippiers, and there's there's always some Dallas. This season it's been absolutely atrocious. The highest scoring defender is Ben White. CAV is right. So Ben White is the highest scoring defender. I mean, it's insane, right? 119 points. So defense is nothing to write home about, guys. So I would take some money out of defense right now. Maybe buy cheap defenders and allow yourself more attackers. From Arsenal, if anybody wants to pick, I would pick Gabriel over everybody else. I wouldn't even pick Gabriel over Ben White. Beyond that, I don't think there's much to choose between in defense, guys. So Sir Crocodile, downgrade a defender. And I mean, Lascelles can be a really good option if you're on a wild card. 3.9 million. Van Hecke from Brighton. Gusto from Chelsea. Pick cheap defenders, guys. Don't go in for these Van Dijks and so on. Just pick the cheap ones. Pick Bradley's, and even though Trent is going to be back after 34, I mean, you can pick Bradley for the run, and Liverpool got some decent fixtures. Start Gabriel over Doughty 100%. I'm not 100%, but I feel that Gabriel maybe on a set piece or something, because I feel it's going to be a cagey game between Arsenal and Chelsea, so it might be decided by a set piece. Can take a chance with Gabriel. Although the last time when Manchester City didn't score at home, I think it was in 2022. So it's been, I guess, 1.5, 2 years in a game in which they actually did not score at home. So I do not expect Arsenal to keep a clean sheet. Let me be clear with that. Gio says, hey, was on a wild card, would you go with Muniz plus Foden, Saka, or Saka, or Isaac plus Gordon Garnacho? I mean, Isaac plus Garnacho seems to be the more explosive ones. Giovan, the issue here seems to be that the kind of injury-prone players, especially Isaac. Not sure how long he plays. He just gets injured pretty quickly. Garnacho, obviously, I like. I think Garnacho is a fantastic option for the price you get him for. Muniz plus Saka. Actually, Muniz plus Saka is kind of the option. There's two things going in here. Muniz has good fixtures up to 34, and Saka's got good fixtures after 34. So it's kind of mixture. And I mean, to be honest with you, Muniz plus Foden seems to be the better option to go with, especially if you're looking at the longer term duration. Obviously Muniz will give you more cash in the bank, and beyond game week 34 you might have to replace him though. But if you don't want to sell and you want to keep these players for the 37 bench boost or for the longer duration, then Isaac plus Garnacho would be my pick, bro. Hey Zara, I hope you're doing well. Devarga says, have what this question? Got Salah in place of Foden. Yeah, I mean, that's fine, bro. I would not. It's not advise you to sell Foden. He's in really good form, but obviously I think Salah's more desirable than Foden. So I understand where you're coming from. Geeta says, hi Sam. Richards or Lascelles for this game week. Particularly for this game week, obviously I think personally I don't think they're gonna keep a clean sheet in Newcastle. even Crystal Palace, I don't think against Nottingham they're gonna keep a clean sheet. You know, I don't think there's much to choose between the two, Geeta, to be honest with you. But I mean, if you have to play one, I'd say Richard Zaman did score a goal against Burnley, so you can take a chance. At least he's attacking, or can score a goal. So take a chance with Richards, I'd say. Zara says I have one free transfer thing, and also depends on your goalkeeper. If you have Dubravka, then I'd possibly diversify a little bit. Zara says I have one free transfer, thinking of taking out Tony or Solanke to get Haaland or Barkley out for Salah. Zara, I've done Barkley out for Salah myself. Although Tony out for Haaland is fine, but I would possibly this game week, if you ask me which one I would do, I would possibly take Salah. But then next week you won't have the money to get Haaland, so that's the trade-off. I mean, either you can you can do no transfers if you want Haaland and bring in Haaland next week, or you can do Salah this week, and if you really just want Haaland, and then just go for Haaland against Arsenal as well. I'm not saying he's not going to score against Arsenal, but I would pick Salah against Brighton over Haaland against Arsenal, But longer term, if you want Haaland, then you can go for him. I've personally gone for Salah because I might wildcard in 31 and I might get Haaland anyway. So there are guesses have 1.5 in the bank. That's fine, bro. That's fine, like that. Darwin or Jackson? I'd go for Darwin. The issue is Jackson. I'm just not convinced with his finishing. Also, I read on Twitter that Jackson's on 9 yellow cards. So you have to be careful, Gaspar, because he's on 9 yellow cards, and which doesn't expire until game week 32. So if he gets another yellow, he's gonna miss 2 games, Jackson. So you have to be careful with that. So I'd pick Jackson. I'll pick Darwin over Jackson. Sir Crocodile says, don't want to lose Porro for Udogie. I love Porro, otherwise I can afford all. Yeah, well, to be honest with you, he's not the same Pedro Porro as he was at the start of the season. He's been staying back. He's not been as attacking as he was initially in the season. He's off corners as well. So, his attacking threat has been blunted a great deal. Shopnan says, would you swap Gabriel out in a wildcard? I have Freed and bench boost left. I would not. I would actually have... If I have to have one Arsenal defender, it would be Gabriel, and I think one Arsenal defender is desirable. Should I bench Saka and Gabriel for Gordon and Gusto? Yeah, I would do it. Definitely would do it. The Vargas says, have heard rumors that Salah might be injured. Can you please confirm if it's anywhere? I'm scared for... I don't think there's any issue with Salah, my friend. I'm actually... Salah's actually coming back from an injury, so I don't think that there should be an issue with Salah being injured. But if you're scared and you already own him, then don't put the captaincy on him. Just put your captaincy on Son, just to diversify the risk. CAV says, could do a -4 Doty or a Stupinan to 1 week punt defender, Robinson, Gusto, but not. CAV, if you're going to wildcard in 31, I would not suggest taking a -4 hit. -4 hits are only good if you're doing them for the longer duration and they have a chance to pay you back. 1 week is a bit of a risky -4, and I would not suggest to take a -4 just for 1 week, especially if you're wildcarding in 31. If you're keeping him for the long term, then it's fine, because he'll have a chance to pay you back. But for 1 week, I would not recommend a -4. Jackson, I've taken out Barkley for Salah, bro. The Vargas says, are you playing FPL challenge? No, the Vargas, I've not. I don't. I'm a kind of a conventional person. Just like to play FPL. So I'm sticking with that. Can you make a wildcard draft? Shopman, I've posted an wildcard team. If you look at the pinned message on the top, that's the wildcard team I made for, just for anybody who's looking at it. Don't have Son, will captain Haaland or Palmer? I would captain Palmer, Devarga. I think that's a great fixture for Palmer. So Haaland is obviously the safer choice, but Palmer, I think you can take. This week is the week to take a chance on captaincy, guys, because the captaincy is going to be, I think mostly the engaged FPL managers are going to be putting it on Son. Second highest captain should be Salah. and third highest should be Palmer for the engaged managers. Beyond that, the captaincy is open this week. You can have a good chance if you get your captaincy right this week to push you up the ranks. CAV says, yes, that's what I was thinking, but it could open up my options and mean I don't have to do wildcard in 31. That's true, CAV. I mean, if you want to keep your options open, then you can do it. I mean, take Doughty out for Gusto. I can obviously subscribe to that, especially considering that Mauricio Pochettino said that Reece James might not be back. He's not sure that if Reece James is going to be back before the end of the season. So that way Malo Gusto is going to play all the games, and Chelsea's got some decent fixtures coming up. And yeah, I mean, that's fine. I've already made my transfer and forgot to wildcard. Will I get a -4, says Dylan. I am new to FPL. Dylan, well, if you wildcard now, I mean, if you make 5 transfers, technically you're gonna get a -16. But if you activate your wildcard, all your hits are wiped out. Don't worry about it. If you activated your wildcard, no hits are going to count. Don't worry about that. So welcome to FPL. I hope you're enjoying FPL. If you have any more questions, just let me know. We always stream 1 hour before the deadline, so just let me know if you have any more doubts, my friend. I hope you enjoy it. The Vargas says, I have a feeling Muniz will score again. The lad is in form. I was so lucky to get him last week, to be honest with you. I was absolutely lucky, and I didn't free hit, and I got him against Tottenham, and especially I got him because he's scoring in home games. That was the thing which actually attracted my attention. Look, Tottenham home, Brighton home. Look, he is not performing as well away from home, although his XG is pretty high. Even here it was 0.58. But look at these fixtures. I mean, Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Brighton, Tottenham. So I just took a chance, and he just paid me back so handsomely. I want to take him for a -4 by taking out Solanke. I don't think you should take out Solanke. Solanke's got a great fixture, to be honest with you. And he's got some rest to that knee as well. He's got 2 weeks off. He should be fit and raring to go. I would keep Solanke, bro. Christian says, who to bench? Foden, Saka or Gordon? Out of these, I would bench Saka. Christian. Jared says, oh damn, you just reminded me to hit the wildcard button. Would have been many hits. Well, that's the advantage of being on a deadline stream, my friend. Sometimes... you get reminded to do these things. Sometimes it also reminds you that the deadline time is approaching as well. So you're welcome. Lars says, would you start Ariola or Rea this week? I'd say, personally, I don't think Arsenal are going to keep a clean sheet, Lars. I think it's too tough for Arsenal to keep a clean sheet away at the Etihad Stadium. Especially they don't have good memories over there as well. So I'd say you can take a chance with Ariola, although I don't expect any of them to keep a clean sheet. So I guess you should pick your keeper thinking, thinking that how many saves are you expecting from your goalkeeper rather than how many rather than a clean sheet. Because I don't think West Ham keep a clean sheet, and I don't think Arsenal keep a clean sheet this week. That's what I think. George says, hey, Wiz, are you on a wildcard? Hey, George, I hope you're doing well, bro. I'm not on a wildcard, mate. I'm carrying forward my Game Week 29 team. Because I had Muniz from last week. I wanted him to play against Sheffield United. I've got 3 Tottenham players against Luton. I had Palmer against Burnley. I transferred out Barkley for Salah. And Watkin against Wolves. I mean, I didn't feel a pressing need to kind of wildcard, so I'm gonna delay it for 1 more week, and if I can carry it forward to Game Week 35, I'd love to wildcard in Game Week 35, to be honest with you. It's just I'm thinking what to do, but this week I'm not on a wildcard. Devar guesses I would too, but it's too much of a template. Muniz as a differential will help me break through top 15k from 30k. Well, Devarga, if you're in top 30k, I would suggest you to keep playing the way you've been playing. I think you should be fine. Sometimes taking undue risks doesn't work. I mean, this week the only risk which you can take is with your captaincy. I think that's warranted. Just keep on playing the game which you've been playing. the tactics which have brought you to 30k are gonna take you to the top 10k as well. So just keep at it, bro. Do not try to be too differential. George says 18 watchers and 3 likes. Please like, guys. Please like the stream. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. The Varga says, but for a -4, I won't. I would not for a -4 as well. I never take -4s for 1 week, guys. It just does not. I mean, in the long term, if you look at your -4s, make a list of all the -4s you've taken. The only -4s which really pay off are the ones which you keep over the longer term. And these 1 week punts doesn't. They just don't work. Remember getting Eze against Sheffield United, was it? Or which player did we get against Sheffield United? And that day Sheffield United turned into the prime Italy team of the 2000s, and they kept a clean sheet for I don't know for how long they hadn't kept a clean sheet. So never take 1 week wonder hits. Doesn't work out. The Vargas says, I have Dubravka and Ariola. I don't know who to start. You can start anybody you want to. None of them going to keep a clean sheet anyway. CAV says, think I'll start Ariola, looking at that predicted Newcastle back 4. Oh well, it's just a home game for Dubravka, and that is the only reason I'm taking. And West Ham have been hot and cold. I'm just hoping to catch them cold today, that's all. Otherwise, it's just a tough decision to make, West Ham have been hot and cold. The Varga says, yes, unless it's a blank, I won't take a hit. That's fine. In my 3 seasons playing FPL, I hardly took any hits. Well, when you have to take a hit, you have to take a hit. For example, last week and the prior weeks before that, because I was planning for game week 29, I took calculated hits, guys. It's just, you have to plan for the future, and the hits should be planned. Random hits are the things which I don't really like. CAV says, like you said, there's nothing in it, but I benched Ariola for this 13 pointer, so I don't want to do it again. That was an unlucky one. Nobody expected him to save a penalty. But that day, fortunately, Dubravka kept a clean sheet. It would have been a big swing if Dubravka had conceded in that game as well. So I was happy that at least we got a 7-pointer from Dubravka, or was it a 6-pointer? I think it was a 7-pointer, right? Yeah, it was a 7-pointer. So I'm absolutely fine with that. You should never actually get 2 playing keepers. It's just a pain in the neck. Abhijit says, hey Wiz, hey Abhijit, I hope you're doing well. I've got Gabriel, Taylor, Virgil, Doty, Reguilon, Matters, Son, Saka, Palmer, Bone, Tony, Alan, Morris. Got 2 million in the bank, thinking about Tony and Matters to Salah and Muniz. Actually, Abhijit, I'm not sure when you're activating your wildcard, but Tony's got some decent fixtures coming up, so you might want to keep him. I mean, Brighton home, Sheffield United home, Luton away, even Everton, Fulham, Bournemouth, Newcastle. I mean, if you want, you can keep Ivan Toney and simply just take out, even Matters plays against, Luton. So I'm not really hard pressed to take him out. I'd take Jared Bowen out for Salah. I'd just make one transfer and take out Jared Bowen for Salah. You don't have the money, right? Yeah, you don't have the money. Yeah, because you've got Haaland. I mean, Tony to Muniz and Jared Bowen to Salah makes more sense to me than Matters to Salah. At least. Tony's, it's up to you if you want to take out Tony for Muniz. But I would take Jared Bowen for Salah rather than Madison to Salah. Zara says, took my first hit last week to get Tony in for Haaland. Bad move. Well, you had to take a chance. It was a blank game week. Haaland wasn't playing next week. He was going to play against Arsenal. It wasn't a bad hit to take, Zara. Don't worry about it. Especially in a blank game week, he got you 1 point. So it was just a 3-point hit rather than a 4-point hit. Her guess is, for future, I'll get 8 Nori or Gusto for Reguilon. I think that's the best. Gusto, I prefer Gusto, but I think they're both great. Great options for the upcoming weeks, 8 Nuri and Gusto. Actually, somebody on a wildcard should actually consider these cheap defenders. Lascelles, Gusto, 8 Nuri, Van Hecka, along with somebody like Gabriel. I think they're pretty good options. By the way, I'm just going to go on Twitter and check if we have any news or something of the sort. No news. I'm just looking at Twitter, guys. Let's see if we get any news. Don't think so. No news, guys. Well, if I get any news, guys, or anybody on the stream who is in the private chat on Twitter, just if you get any news, just hit me up and let me know on private chat on Twitter, so we can at least let our viewers know about any leaks. As of now, guys, I don't think there's been any leaks, and which I don't think is a bad thing, to be honest with you. But if there are any leaks, the problem is there's not been many leaks of Newcastle, and the leaks which have come have been wrong most of the times. Devarga says might take Bradley. I think Bradley is fine too. Yeah, for until game week 33-34, Bradley's okay. But beyond that, I think Trent comes back. But now I think the new issue's been coming up is that Robertson has injured himself in the game. He was playing for Scotland in this friendlies. I guess he injured himself. So I'm not sure how long Robertson's going to be out for. Maybe Gomez can play on the left. Maybe Bradley gets a chance. I'm not so sure. But if Trent comes back, I think Trent's first choice right back, not Bradley. Abhishek says, should I play Doughty or Gabriel? I'm playing Gabriel over Doughty, but I don't think there's much between them, Abhishek. I mean, you can play Doughty if you want to. I played him in the double game week. I've been watching him. Yes, he puts in crosses relentlessly, but just Luton just never look like scoring, bro. I just don't ever feel like they're gonna, there was a time when they were scoring 4 goals away to Newcastle, but right now I just didn't feel like they looked good for scoring. And they concede a lot of goals anyway. 4 points in I mean, it's alright. You can play, I mean, if you want to play Doughty, you can play Doughty. I don't think it makes a huge amount of difference. Havertz or Martinelli. I would go with George, although to be honest with you, I don't like either of them because I'm not sure of their place. Guys, just give me a second here. Hey, sorry. Havertz or Martinelli, I don't like any of them because issue is Gabriel Jesus is back and Trossard has been playing really well on the left wing, although I think Martinelli is going to start against City, but I'm not sure how nailed their positions are, they might, for example, I'm not sure if Saka's going to play today, although I think he will. He missed the last game against City though, Saka, and Arsenal actually won. So if I had to pick one, George, I'd say the position of Havertz is more secure, because Havertz can play in the midfield as well as in the striker's role. So Martinelli, coming back from injury, I'm not sure how sharp he's going to be. Maybe he's going to take off early for Trossard. So I'd say Havertz. Captain Salah or Son? I would captain Son because I feel that Luton's defense is worse than Brighton's, Sylvester. And if Son plays through the middle, actually I think I prefer him. Devarga says Saka, David Luiz, Bailey, Douglas Luiz. So not David Luiz, sorry. Saka, Douglas Luiz, Bailey, Palmer, Salah. Start 4. I think it's pretty... Bailey, Douglas Luiz. I think I'd bench one out of... I think I'd bench Douglas Luiz, I guess. I'd play Bailey, Palmer, Salah and Saka. Abhijit says, only got 1 free transfer, -4 is worth it. I was planning to wildcard next week or 35. So if you're planning a wildcard in 35, -4 is worth it. Depending on who you take it for. If you're wildcarding next week, I'm not so sure if -4 is worth it. You didn't pick Haaland. Well, I'm not on a wildcard, bro. This is just my team. CAV says, looking at my team 31-34, I don't mind not doing a wildcard 31. Might take the hit. Well, CAV, it's all about the fact that whether you own Haaland or not. Because for me, I mean that's the biggest issue is that I don't have Haaland. And if I want to ride these game weeks from 31-34 or 31-33 in that case, because I'm gonna free hit in 34 anyway, I need Haaland in my team because that's too much of a variance to play against Haaland. So either I get Haaland next week. Play Doughty or Taylor? I'd play Doughty over Taylor, my friend. Did you play free hit or a -8? Ahmed, when do you mean? In Game Week 29 or this week? I'm sorry, I didn't get the question. I would play Doughty, Vijit. I think he has attacking potential. I think Taylor. I don't think Burnley gonna score against Chelsea, especially with Fofana missing out. Although Luton, I think they're gonna concede a lot of goals, but Doughty, maybe he has a chance, to get in one of those crosses and gets the assist. Ahmed, I did not take any hits. Neither am I on a free hit, my friend. This is my Game Week 29 team with just one exception that I took out Barkley for Salah. That's all. I didn't take a hit. I didn't play my wildcard or free hit. Spurs fixtures aren't that bad. Yep, Spurs have got 2 double game weeks as well. The only issue is, the double game weeks are not the best. I mean, it includes fixtures against Liverpool and City and so on. So yeah, let's see how it pans out. Devarga says, I'll use the wildcard on 35 and bench boost. I mean, that's the plan which I want to execute, but I will not kind of lock it in. If I don't feel that I can get Haaland next week by taking out Maddison and Tony, I guess, or Maddison and Watkins, if I can't get to Haaland next week, then I'll prefer to wildcard, because it'll be the end of my season if I don't bring Haaland in 31. It's too much variance. Hi, was any triple leaks? Hey Jugs, I hope you're doing well, my friend. As of now, I haven't heard any leaks. I've been on Twitter a couple of times. I did not. FPL Tony says, nah, he's just talking about his own team. He's not. No, he's not. As of now, there's no news, guys. I'll let you know if I have any news. As of now, nothing. The Vargas says free hit used and wasted on 9. Now that's fine, my friend. You just play what is in front of you now. Play Tony or Garnacho? I would play. This is a difficult one. I mean, United have been improving, to be honest with you. But I guess at home you can play Tony, although he's not been giving good returns, to be honest with you. He's been blanking. Ever since I brought him in, he's just been getting 1 or 2 pointers. But at home you can take a chance with Tony. That's all I can say. It's a difficult one, my friend. Shopman says, start Saka or Garnacho. I would start Garnacho over Saka. Saka should be... I mean, Arteta said that Saka has a chance to be fit. They have a late fitness test. Yesterday, when he was doing his press conference, he gave updates about Martinelli, Saka and Gabriel. He said that they might have a chance to be ready, but it's going to depend on, the training session which they have left. So we don't have any... rigid information as to whether he's going to be absolutely fine, but I think he should be okay. That's just my hunch. The Vargas is 29. I mean, a lot of people wasted their fears in 29, and I gave my logic as to why I wasn't using it. Sometimes it works out, and although my Game Week 29 team would have been a disaster if I wouldn't have gone for Muniz, but sometimes you get lucky, my friend. I just got lucky. CAV says, wonder if we can get away with no Haaland to an extent. Lots of big games for City in a short period. CAV, I mean, we don't want to... I personally don't want to take that chance. We play the entire season thinking that we want... at least we want the swords and the shields. If you're going into a war with no shield, Haaland has got crazy effective ownership from next week onwards, when people are going to start captaining him. It's going to be 150s, 180%. I don't want to go against that. No matter what happens, I'll take a hit and bring in Haaland if I have to. If I don't want to free hit, I'll take a hit and bring in Haaland. It's as simple as that. I don't want to go without Haaland though. That's just my play style. I don't play like that. I always like to have a solid base and go from there. So even this week, I'm scared of not owning Haaland, but that was my decision I had made beforehand, so I'm sticking with that. But beyond that, I'll if I can't bring in Haaland with a good transfer, I'll just play my wildcard. Imagine getting 16 points on a free hit. I've seen people getting less. So don't worry about it, bro. Faz says wildcard, Walker to Gusto or Bradley. Okay, Walker to Gusto or Bradley, Baldock to Lichells, Son to Salah, Watkins to Solanke, Archer to Muniz. I like that. I think that's fine. Walker to Gusto should be better. Baldock to Lichells, okay. Son to Salah. Why? If you're on a wild card, why don't you bring both Son and Salah? Why do you have to choose one, bro? I think Son has got some great fixtures, got 2 double game weeks, and has a great fixture this week. Don't take out Son. Watkins to Solanke is fine. Archer to Muniz is fine too. Abhishek says bhai Foden or Saka. This week I'd go with Foden, mate. Guys, actually I'm an Arsenal fan, and in the back of my mind, I'm being pessimistic. Just thinking, I'll either be right or I'll be pleasantly surprised. I don't want to be too optimistic for this game. It's been 20 years since we won the title, and this is a game which is gonna decide a whole lot about where the season is gonna go. So, being an Arsenal fan, I may not be in the right frame of mind to actually answer the questions correctly regarding this game, but I feel that you should own the home player for a fixture, and there's not much to choose between Foden or Saka. Devarga says 20 minutes left, don't forget to lock your transfers 5 minutes before the deadline, or else the site crashes. I don't think the site is going to crash with the Newcastle and the West Ham game, my friend. It's only if you get a news that KDB is not starting or a Haaland is not starting when you get a chances of a crash. As of now, no news, guys. I cannot see any news. No. Everybody's kind of talking about FPL challenge on Twitter, which kind of bugs me because I haven't taken it seriously as of now. But I don't care. As of now, there's no news. If there's any news, I'll let you know. Don't worry about it. Gusto or Bradley? I'd go with Gusto. Hey, Wiz, a good keeper to have till the end of the season. I'd say Petrovic, Azmir. Petrovic seems to be a good pick because he's got 2 doubles. He's got good fixtures as well in the single game weeks, except in game week 34. When if you have a free hit, then is even more ideal. Don't worry, Gabriel will score a hat-trick. I'd absolutely love that. Jeevan says, hey Wiz, what's your transfer plan for today? Hey Jeevan, I've already made my transfer. Actually, I've taken out Ross Barkley for Mo Salah, so I'm not going to make any more transfers. Devarga says, let me contact Pep and ask City for team news. Well, I think the team has already kind of picks itself. Hang on, let me see what the predictions have to say. Let me actually show you as well what the predictions have to say about the City team. So let's go to MI Jump the Wave on Twitter and let's try to find out. Man United, Man City. No, we don't want the commentaries. We want the predictions. So this is Spurs. Spurs, I think the only difference is between Richarlison. Let's see what they have to say. So they think Maddison's gonna start. They think Son's gonna start. They're confused between Werner, Brennan Johnson, Richarlison, Dragushin, and Wen. So a lot of uncertainty amongst the fans for Spurs. But at least I'm happy that the players which I own in Pedro Porro, Son and Maddison, they're all 100% to start. Let's move on. Liverpool, I'm going to Man City. There you go. So you see there's a lot of uncertainty about Manchester City. I mean, with the only exception being Haaland 100%, KDB 91%, Foden 100%, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Ake, Akanji, Guardiola, Ruben, Diaz. So Walker and Stones got injured during the international break. I think there's much ado about one position. I mean, I think Foden, KDB and Haaland are locked in. So the one position which is left, people are thinking whether Alvarez is going to get to start, Grealish, Doku. I don't know where Kovacic comes in the equation, but if Pep changes his shape, then maybe Kovacic can start. Otherwise, I don't think any chance. Arsenal, again, people are confused between Trossard and Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus. People are even thinking that they can take Jesus and put him out wide, or maybe change the shape a little bit. So otherwise, simply put Martinelli or in place of Trossard. So that is why I was telling George that I'm not sure about Martinelli. Right, guys, let's go back. If you have any more questions about the teams, I'm gonna come back to it later. When you use your wildcard, I'm thinking I'm gonna use it in game week 35, but if I have to, I'm gonna use it in 31. Start Solanke or Tony? I would start Solanke. Fast says I have Salah, Saka, Palmer, Foden, Bowen. How to put in Son? Take out Bowen for Son. Start Maddison or Garnacho? I would start Maddison. Surfro says, hi Viz. Hey Surfro. It says, who would you prefer, Anderson from Crystal Palace or Robinson from Fulham? I mean, both teams have got good fixtures. I'd say I prefer Robinson a little bit more than I do Anderson. You know, Anderson was great at the start of the season, but then Crystal Palace team tailed off, and obviously Anderson's performance has tailed off as well. But I think Fulham have got good fixtures as well, and Robinson has been attacking, so I hope there's an attacking return due for Robinson. So I personally would go with Robinson. Again, you know, don't see any. I don't see any team news, guys. I don't know what's going on. Maybe we're not gonna get any. So, well, let's hope for the best. As of now, there's no any team news which I can see. Start Madison or Gaia answers that. Surface says thanks. You're welcome, my friend. You're always welcome. So, guys, there's like last 13 minutes to go. If you haven't made your transfers, I would suggest you to make your transfers. If you are on a wildcard, do check that you've activated your wildcard. Sometimes we keep on making transfers and we think that, okay, we're gonna activate our wildcard later, but we skip it, in which case you'll get a lot of hits, unnecessary hits. So if you are on a wildcard, hypothetically, at least make sure to check that your wildcard has been activated. Saka news, I think Saka should be fine. Faz, that's just my hunch. Devarga says, I'll give you my custom team news if you want. Well, yeah. I mean, we already have an idea of who's going to start and who's not. But yeah, any team news is welcome, bro. Don't know if you answered. Start Garnacho or Saka? Saka against with no Walker, etc. I mean, you can start Saka. I mean, Saka doesn't play against Walker anyway. Saka plays on the right wing. So, you know. Saka's gonna play against Ake or Akanji, whoever Pep decides to put him against. I think Akanji did a great job on Saka in the Community Shield and in the previous season as well. So it depends. I mean, Pep doesn't play the same way in all the games. He sometimes will put men to mark you, but Walker doesn't play on the same side as Saka. So I don't think it makes a difference. I mean, you can play Saka if you want to. You know, I don't think there's much between them. I think it's going to be a difficult game for Brentford against United. United have been improving. They've been winning games. They've been finding a way to win games. So it's difficult. It's difficult to do. I mean, if I had the option, I'd possibly start Saka. Trent news. Trent is going to be out till game week 34, I presume. So Bradley should be playing at right back for Liverpool. You know, Palmer as a differential captain definitely can. I think Palmer is a great shout for captaincy this week. I'm telling you guys, I mean, if Chelsea play anywhere near to what they have been playing in some of the games, the issue with Chelsea is they're hot and cold. You never know which type of Chelsea turns up. Sometimes they'll actually struggle to score against, like, you know, even the teams which you expect them to hit like 2, 3, 4 past them. But, you know, I just hope for the best. I mean, they gave City a great game, you know, at the Etihad as well. So it just depends on which Chelsea is going to turn up. But I'd say definitely Palmer is a great differential captain. If you want to captain a differential, this is the week to do it. Faz says, my sixth sense says Bradley to Gusto, cause Trent out. Bradley's greater than Gusto, okay. That's fine, but Trent is going to come back in game week 34, which means you're having to book a transfer. If you're fine with that, then I don't have any problems with getting Bradley. Gusto's got 2 double game weeks. Just saying, you know, and he has a great fixture this week as well. Although Bradley doesn't have a bad one, but if you were calling, you know, which one to keep a clean sheet between Chelsea and Liverpool, I'd say Chelsea has more chance to keep a clean sheet this week as compared to Liverpool against Brighton. Brighton, some reason, always does well at, you know, against Liverpool. You know, whether it was Harry Potter or whether it is Zerbi, but they always seem to do well against Liverpool. Trossard was their nemesis actually when he was at Brighton. So guys, 10 minutes to go. If you have any important questions, do hit me up, but I would suggest you to make your transfers and not delay them for too long. I do not I'm telling you, I do not see any Any early team news? I mean, if you're expecting, for example, if you're thinking Gordon's going to start, I think Gordon's going to start, Isaac is going to start, all the usual suspects are going to start. I think even Trippier should be fine. I'm not 100% sure about Trippier, I can say that. But let me check. Just give me a second. Let me check about Trippier before I say something and people are going to... Yeah, I think Trippier should be alright. Trippier should be alright. From my notes. Still tempted by Stupinan to Robinson for a -4. CAV, you always have to go with your gut. Sometimes these things are not logical. But if you feel that if you don't have any other players to play, if you're thinking that you're gonna have to play Stupinan against Liverpool, you can take a -4. I mean, it's just up to you. But I do not take unnecessary hits. For example, I'm having the urge to take out Doty for Gusto. I know that I can get a clean sheet out of Gusto. The -4 hit can be wiped out. I do not expect Gabriel to keep a clean sheet. I do not expect Doty to keep a clean sheet. But I'm resisting the potential because sometimes when you become too easy on yourself for taking hits, then you'll just, you'll make lazy decisions. You won't plan for the future and you'll just get lazy that, all right, if it doesn't work out, I'll take a hit. That's the reason. It should not become a norm. It should be the exception and not the norm. That's why I don't become comfortable taking hits. That's what I'm saying. But if you feel you want to take it, that's totally up to you. Sorry, I missed your answer, says Sylvester. No worries, my friend. I would start Madison over Garnacho. Devarga says, here is my team news. Whatever player you will have in your team will start. Right. CV says, would be Gabriel or Doty playing? Just had enough of a Stupinan. Yeah, that's... I totally understand. Stupinan was a bad pick. I brought him in as well, and I regret it immediately. So I totally understand where you're coming from. Sometimes, you want to take out a player just because you're annoyed with him, But remember, it should be an exception and not the norm. Marco says, hey Wiz, hey Marco, I hope you're doing well. Should I do Doty to Gusto or Nato to another midfielder? Under 7 million. Thinking of wildcarding next week, so don't want to take a -4. I'd say Doty to Gusto should be the better one. Nato to another midfielder. I mean, if you don't have Palmer, then I would first do Nato to Palmer. Otherwise, I would do Doty to Gusto. What do you think about a fantasy challenge? Are you playing it? Abhishek, I haven't. I actually had a look at it briefly, but it just wasn't for me. No Newcastle news, really, says George. As of now, I don't have any news. I've been on Twitter. I've been checking. I just can't see any news, my friend. Anyone seen Trippier? No, it's just Harry posting. That's not news. I don't see any news. I mean, it's just like a media blackout. I just don't see any team news. If you have any news from Twitter, guys, just let me know because I can't find any. Nobody's sent me a DM or anything with the tweet. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Bowen to Madison, I don't have Son funds. I mean, if you're expecting that, Madison can match Son, he cannot. They're just different players, different places. Madison is better for like an 8-pointer, 7-pointer. Son's got the potential to hit a 20-pointer. That's the difference between the two. I mean, it's not a like-for-like replacement, but I think in isolation, Madison is a decent pick, yes. If I hadn't watched Fulham Spurs game, I probably wouldn't even be considering him. Think I'll just start Doty over Gabriel. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking as well, just being an Arsenal fan, I want to have an Arsenal player. It's my personal, I want, I'm playing Tony over Saka, although I don't, I want to play Saka in my team. I want Arsenal to beat City, but I'm being pessimistic because either I'll be right or I'll be pleasantly surprised. I do not want to be disappointed. I will not, I don't want to be disappointed. Last season it was too bad. Draw against Liverpool, leading 2-0 against Liverpool, drew from there, leading 2-0 against West Ham, drew from there, 3-3 against Southampton, at home, at Emirates, and then we go to City and get absolutely hammered 3. It's just, it was painful. I don't want to experience that again. I know it's a different Arsenal. I know they've been defensively more solid or whatever, but I just I can't deal with the pain. All right, play Garnacho over Saka. Jugs, it's a 50-50, bro. You know, but yeah, I mean, you can play Garnacho over Saka, especially with Garnacho playing on the right side and Reguilon not there. Reguilon's red carded, so essentially there's a hole to fill. So you can play Garnacho, and Manchester United have been improving. So I mean, if you want, you can. There's nothing to choose between the two. Saka's a better player, better returns, but a difficult fixture. Garnacho's got the better fixture, especially with Reguilon out and the left back position vacant for Brentford. I'm struggling for defense anyway. I'm starting Saka, whereas you're not, so makes sense. Yeah, I get your point, bro. George says it's really odd, no early news with so many games today. I mean, the first game is initially there's just one game, right? So no news is all right. I can't find any news, guys. It's weird, isn't it? I don't know. Anyways, let's move on. Why aren't you captaining Salah over Son? Because Salah plays against Brighton and Son plays against Luton. Luton defense is in tatters, whereas Brighton defense has been improving. Salah's coming back from an injury. Son has been fit and fine. These are small reasons. So owning Salah, I think, is enough for me. I don't want to take a chance with the captaincy. Salah scores some points, I'll still gain. I'm happy with that. Don't want to be too greedy. I don't want 2 bones. I think 1 bone is enough for me. I always play safe with captaincy. I want to play against the weakest team. That's the thing. I want to play my captaincy against the weakest team. That's all I want to do. Capping Salah, says Geeta. Totally fine. I think Salah is the second or third choice captaincy for me. Son, Palmer, Salah, in that order. I like that. I like all of these captains. Outside shout for if somebody wants to captain from the City and Arsenal game, Haaland again, you can captain him. But I think Salah, Son and Palmer are the standout captains. You want to choose any of them? This is your week to go differential. Although I think if you ask me who's going to be the most captain player this week, I think it's going to be Son. Because the thing is, most people tend to play safe with captaincy because they've been burned a lot many times. I play safe with captaincy because I have been burned. Did Salah play international fixtures? No, I don't think so. Salah's fine. Salah was actually struggling with injuries, actually coming back from an injury. Trippier is in the squad. I think Trippier should be fine. From the whatever news I've read over the weekend or during the week, I'd say he should be fine, Trippier. I don't think there's gonna be an issue with Trippier. I can't, guys. I'm gonna check late arrival, but Kieran Trippier is here just 35 minutes before team news. So Kieran Trippier has been seen at the St. James's Park, and he's walking. So there's a video of Kieran Trippier coming, and so this guy Dominic Skur says Kieran Trippier is here 35 minutes before the team news. So make of that what you will. I'm just reading what I can see. I can show you as well, actually, but it's just last minute. I don't want to show you. I want to keep the screen on my team as well. So, guys, lock your teams, please. Gabriel, Saliba, Dunk, Saka. Which one to bench? Bench Saliba, I guess. Why are you playing 3 Arsenal players, Zara? I'd bench Saliba. Typical. Last minute, Gabriel start after seeing everyone start him on Twitter. Don't get influenced by Twitter. Nobody knows better than anybody else. It's just a prediction game that we are playing here, my friend. Alright, I'm going to refresh my team right before the deadline is over. On captain, Salah vice captain. There you go. Don't get influenced by Twitter, my friend. Twitter is just, no one knows better than anybody else here. Not much between him and Doty anyway. That is true. That is true. Gabriel can give you... Actually, Gabriel has more of a goal threat. And Assist potential, I think Doughty has more assist potential. Gabriel has next to 0 assist potential. So yeah, I get where you're coming from, my friend. It's all fine. So teams have been locked, guys, for game week 30, and we're looking. Hopefully, I can get a way to bring in Haaland in place of, I'd say Ivan Toney next week. If I can't, then we're looking at a wild card. Because no matter what happens, I want Haaland in my team. So basically, I'll have to sell Maddison for somebody like a Garnacho. No, I can't even sell him for Garnacho. 4.7. So I don't have that many options, if I'm selling Maddison to accommodate, maybe Sarabia. I guess I can go with Sarabia. I think that's an option because he's got some decent fixtures coming up. He's been playing all the games. I think that is an option for me, taking out Maddison for Sarabia and getting Haaland in place of Ivan Toney. What I can do is Archer to Muniz in the last... Muniz to Archer or Archer to Muniz? I hope you brought in Muniz and not Archer, bro. Anyways, so next week, guys, if there's another option though. If I don't want to sell Ivan Toney, I can sell Ollie Watkins, and that way I can get to Garnacho, I feel. Yeah, I can get to Garnacho, and I can bring in Erling Haaland. If I sell Ollie Watkins, and I don't sell Ivan Toney, and I don't even want to sell Ivan Toney. Why would anybody want to sell Ivan Toney before a game against Brighton, Sheffield, Luton? So, Kuna looks good if he's 100% by midweek. I don't know, he's just... The problem with Kuna is he just misses a lot of chances. He's a reincarnated Timo Werner, so I don't like these kind of players who miss a lot of chances in front of goal. Just don't like them, I've had a lot of experience with these kind of players over the years, these trollers, I like to call them. So yeah, FPL Jug says transfer made Darwin in for Morris, played Garnacho, benched Saka, Son captain. Well, nice one. Darwin in for Morris is a nice one. The issue with Darwin, I feel, is that I'm not sure. Like I can't call that Darwin is gonna play the full game against Sheffield United next week. That's the issue I have with Darwin. Otherwise, obviously, if you are on a wild card or if you're wildcarding 31, yes, I would recommend you to get Darwin. Issue is minutes, and he also withdrew with an injury from the squad, the international squad. So you need to kind of consider all these things, and you just can't say that they've been faking injuries, Sometimes there can be a real injury. Who knows what's happened to Darwin? Or maybe he'll get reduced minutes because Klopp wants him fit for the run-in. Because I don't think Klopp needs Darwin to win the game against Sheffield United. So, I don't know. Darwin is a great pick, and let's hope it works out for you, Jugs. I can't say much more about that. Right, guys. So I guess that was a healthy stream. We had a lot of fun, a lot of decent questions today. CAV says also lots of Wolves attacking injuries. That is true. That is true. But the thing is, Wolves, I'm really considering just Sarabia and 8 Nouri. So I think that's about all the Wolves I can consider. Nothing beyond that. There's much better options, even in the cheaper price bracket, like Gusto. I really would love to have Gusto in my team, especially 2 double game weeks. Even if they're against tough opponents, I still, I would love that. CAV says we have 8 out of 11 starters the same. Well, fingers crossed. I hope for the best. I hope Saka scores a hat-trick. I don't care. I hope Saka scores a hat-trick. I would absolutely love that. I won't matter what happens to my FPL. I would love Saka to score a hat-trick. Telling you this. Well, guys, I think that was a healthy stream. So today, just not wanting to do the predictions. Guys, please just, I hope many of you are... I'm not even sure what Liverpool fans really want. I think Liverpool fans are looking for a draw between Arsenal and City. I don't think Liverpool would want either Arsenal to win or City to win. Liverpool fans, either maybe they want Arsenal to win or they want a draw. They would never want City to win. At least that's all I can say about the Liverpool fans. Although a draw would be ideal, but I think either they would actually take an Arsenal win over a City win. That's all I can say. A draw would be ideal. George says draw as well, so yeah, I get your point. Well, guys, so thank you so much for coming to today's stream. I hope it was fruitful. I hope I answered your questions, and I hope you have a great game week 30. I will let you know on Twitter whether I'm wildcarding in 31 or whether I have decided to kind of just ride the storm and wildcard in 35. Ideally, I would like to wildcard in 35, but it all depends on how I feel about my team, how this game week is going to go, and how I feel about not having Erling Haaland in my team, and how he plays in this game week against Arsenal. So lots of things to ponder for me, guys. Free hit yet to be played, bench boost, wild card, and now begins the sprint of the season. The marathon is over. Now it comes to the decision making, and let's hope we end on the right side of variance just this once, and we can make as high as possible. Right, guys, I hope you have a great game week. Thank you so much for being on this stream. FPL Visit signing out. May the arrows be green. Take care. Cheers. Bye.